Perseus. My name is 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 Perseus.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Igloo today. Today we're going to be showing you guys 3 different types of raid-proof, Godable-proof bases. We discovered one of the biggest flaws in this game, and I know this is probably going to get patched out, but what's going to be happening is probably in role-playing servers and other people that respect this kind of stuff are going to respect it. Now, the build to be Ungodable is just crazy, but right now I'm going to show you 3 different ways of building against Forgots. So I tested out on the most recent patch that just came out today, and it still works. You can still have your dies, you can still have all this kind of stuff. What happens is that when you have it bound to a foundation and you have something that overlaps it, kind of on how the structure is, you can still do double walls and everything else, but this just takes it to another level where you confuse the foundation and thinking that it's inside a wall or inside a an actual mountain, and it thinks that it's still in the mountain even after you destroy it. So you now have a levitating base, which makes it super crazy. Now you got a super crazy base design. Now you can expand it to be further, like I have in this example as well, where you can pretty much have a crazy platform just at the bottom and it can't get up to it. Now if you have stairs that lead up to it and it's like tier 1 stairs to like tier 2 or tier 3 doorway, they're not going to be able to get in anyway in the first place. It's going to be needing to have a god to get in there. Now, if you expect to build at a certain kind of tier, certain ways up. Now, this build requirement right here, just to get the foundations and everything ready, means that you have to prep the bottom so that you can actually have everything else done. Now, if your server has gods, game over for this base. But if it doesn't have gods, you pretty much made your base unraidable. And that's on how this kind of setup is that you pretty much designed this so that it can be unraidable. Now you can do a bridge trap, you can do bridge explosives, you can do the multiple layers of like tier 2 to tier 1, tier 2 to tier 1, so they can't have it for explosives. But if you're going to need to have like a quick resource base, you can make it in a similar style, especially when you are a big clan. Big clans make big benefactors. Zerg clans would benefit more about this. Also, if you have a clan of about 6 to 7, this is also feasible, especially with the amount of iron reinforcements, because it has to be at tier 1 to tier 2 or tier 2 to tier 3. I tested this also with a tier 1 to tier 3, and it could also work as well. Alright, so I'm going to show you just right now that the height of this has changed. So gods can only go a certain amount, but you can have and you can build past that ceiling. There is no ceiling in this, which I will link you the videos down below of people that just built straight up into the sky, and there is no building limit going straight up. So now it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to walk all the way up, unless you have a bed like on how I have right here, so you can just completely go all the way up and then just build that way. It's also another way to like prevent for you to be as raidable. So you might have sometimes that you put god tokens all the way at the top, and then you make sure at the end that you have everything settled. So when you have the god tokens or anything else that you want to put on up here, especially on official servers, I know on private servers that have rules, this would not be recommended. As long as it is raidable to an extent, or godable to an extent. Like this top one requires to be super Yogg, and then you have to build a raid tower to get all the way up here. every base needs to be raidable to a degree, but this is these 3 designs that make these bases god-proof in one way, shape, or form. So the first 2 that I am going to be demonstrating is, first one is Set. Set is going to be the lower tier god, the one that you want to clear as much for surface area as you can and destroy as much that's on the base floor. So this is me showing that it can destroy a lot of it, especially if you have it already linked. On the right side you can see that some of the tier 2 have been destroyed, as well as all the tier 1. The tier 1 is pretty much the base format so that you can build it that high anyway in the first place. But this is showing you that you cannot raid past this point with Set. You cannot build any higher than that for Set. Now I would recommend a buffer zone for it, because Set can still climb on different surfaces and he can back up and be like levitating for a while, which is kind of weird, but it's a god character. So if you have a 60-second spawn timer on your server, pretty much gods pretty much destroy everything. But when you have a certain amount where you can actually hold, then that's another story. So you can have a set rate of godable proof base, and that's the one at the lower left. The middle one is going to be around, I would say around 32 foundations tall. The first one was probably like 17, 18 tall that you can prevent for. And then for Yogg, I've counted this, and this is why it was super ridiculous. It's almost 168 foundations tall to prevent Yogg. Now Mitra has this weird thing where his head kind of goes above everything, and it kind of destroys some of the foundations that are just floating during his animation. So that's also another thing good to know. If you're going to be in an uneven plane, it kind of destroys some, just like it destroys the walls that are hanging above, as well as the foundations that were to the right. It's kind of weird on how it works, because the hitboxes for the gods is still kind of messed up. Now we have in our final one, which is Yogg. Pretty much the trump card, the god killer, the base killer that can be for even unraidable quote-unquote bases that you see on the internet. But this is the only one right now that can be going straight up to the sky. Because there is no ceiling, you have to go and build above his limit. And this is the only way that you can do that. Now, you can see right here, the Mitra one instantly dead, because it just even hits his head as soon as he spawns. Now we're going to go all the way to the top, and we're going to show you guys that he cannot reach. He can't reach this spot. So even if you destroy the stairs, you destroy everything else, you still have to get and build a raid tower if your server has a smaller building radius than the other ones to make that. Now if it's vanilla, you can't even touch this, and this becomes a unraidable base. So that's how much we have for today. This is exactly what people have been asking for unraidable bases. They want to be able so that they have this offline status or whatever. If you can build all the way up here, you cannot be raided. But good luck, because it's going to take a shitload of resources. My name's Polar Bear, and this is probably my biggest project. I've been messing around this for about a good week and a half just to get this to work, and this was the hardest thing out of all of them to get and manage, is to get as much of this information to you guys as possible. I hope you guys have a lovely day, enjoy your building, and build away.